For centuries, the myth of Spectre haunted the star maps of the galactic concord. It was whispered in orbital stations and back-alley trader hubs, always with a chuckle and a shake of the head. A human warship that moved like a ghost, struck without warning, and vanished without trace? Ridiculous. There hadn't been a confirmed human sighting in over 300 years. After humanity's sudden withdrawal from galactic affairs, following the Treaty of Seoul, their systems had gone dark. No signals, no trade, no conflict, nothing. The prevailing belief was that humans had destroyed themselves, retreating to a primitive shell or falling to internal war. Most galactic species were content to let the Earthborn experiment be a forgotten chapter. But the Spectre refused to be forgotten. The Kroth Dominion, a proud and brutal war empire, considered the rumors of the Phantom ship to be a joke. Their fleets expanded aggressively, consuming minor worlds, enslaving species, and establishing new colonies at terrifying speed. When Sector 9b Delta, a barren patch of space near the edge of human-claimed territory, came under Kroth interest, there were murmurs of warning. The High Strategist dismissed them with a snarl. There is nothing there but dust and dead myths. The fleet assigned to 9b Delta was formidable 16 warcruisers, 4 dreadnoughts, and the Windbringer, the Dominion's flagship, commanded by Admiral Ralzakar himself. They arrived to find nothing but silence, until the stars blinked. A ripple cut through space, a shimmer, like a cloak being peeled back. And there it was, the Spectre. It didn't match any known class. Blacker than the void, it absorbed light. No visible engines, no energy signature. Simply was. Ralzakar barked orders. Target and fire. I want that thing torn apart. The dreadnoughts launched a coordinated barrage. Plasma, ion, graviton pulses all targeted the Spectre. The impacts reached it and vanished. Sensors screamed in confusion. The readings showed their weapons had passed through empty space. Then came the retaliation. It began without warning. The Spectre emitted a soundless burst, hypersonic, undetectable by standard frequencies. But the results were unmistakable. One of the warcruisers, the Fong of Kor, fractured midspace, its hull folding inward like crumpled paper before exploding in a sphere of white heat. Panic rippled through the Kroth fleet. Ships turned to flee, but space warped again. The Spectre moved, no, shifted. One moment it was behind them, the next directly in their midst. Not propulsion, teleportation? No one could tell. Laser bursts lanced out from the Spectre's hull. Perfectly timed, precisely aimed. No warning, no build-up. Ships exploded in succession, each one vanishing in a blossom of plasma and debris. Admiral Ralzakar stood frozen on the command bridge, his scaled hands gripping the edge of the console. He had trained his whole life to fear no enemy. But this was not war. It was execution. He screamed for a hyperspace jump. But their drives were jammed. Every signal looped back, scrambled, reversed. The fleet's own systems were being rewritten live by the Spectre's code. "This is impossible," he muttered. "No species can do this." As if in response, the Spectre transmitted a message across all Kroth channels. It was in galactic standard, but the accent was unmistakable. "You ventured too close to the veil. You called us a myth. We are humanity's shadow, and your reckoning." One last flash, and the Windbringer, pride of the Kroth Dominion, was torn in half by an energy beam that split reality like a blade of pure calculation. A week later, the Galactic Concord convened an emergency council. Reports had surfaced. A scout ship had arrived at a fringe station, carrying the only survivor, a communication officer named Tresk Vorn. His mind was fractured, his words barely coherent. But 3 were repeated often. "It's real. It's real. The Spectre is real." The Concord's analysts studied the telemetry and fragment data. What they found chilled them. Unknown weapon signatures, AI complexity leagues beyond any known civilization, and traces of quantum phase-shifting technology, theoretical tech long deemed impossible. The Council's oldest member, a Tharn elder who had seen the rise and fall of a dozen empires, leaned forward. So, he rasped, the humans never left. They didn't, whispered the Lauren delegate. They just watched. And now, the galaxy understood humanity had never gone extinct. They had evolved in silence, perfected warfare in solitude, and returned not as conquerors, but as phantoms, a warning wrapped in myth now made flesh. Where the specter would strike next, no one could say. But the message was clear. Humanity remembers. Humanity waits. And when you forget, it comes.